who's in your network. You shouldn't just randomly be connecting with people just so you can have 500 plus connections.
I
Because
ain't
at
gonna
the end of
lie, I
the day,
did that.
most people they just hit the connect button, connect, right?
Mm,
And then when they look back, they're like, I don't even know who this person is.
right.
So if you look at your network and say, for example, you only know between 10 and 25% of the people in your network, you got a pretty weak network.
What's going on, world, and welcome back to the Pursuit of the Good Life podcast, your favorite podcast that helps you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host with the most, your favorite coach, the Cameron Lovelace, helping you create your version of the good life every single Thursday. Now, guess what, guys? We got a phenomenal guest again. Y'all know I always bring some people who add significant value. But this person, he's a frat brother of mine. Y'all know I just like having frat on the show, of course, because we do pretty good when I bring them on. But this one is going to put us on game on how to get our professional game up. So how many of y'all know the platform LinkedIn, maybe even have a LinkedIn platform, but you don't really know what you're doing on it. You know what I'm saying? You got your little resume, you got your school uploaded, but you adding people here and there. You think you're doing a little something, but nothing's really coming of it. Well, I have a guru when it comes to LinkedIn. I got the LinkedIn locksmith as on the show. So please do me a warm welcome to my brother, Mr. Robert YB Youngblood. YB, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
What's up, good brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Man, I'm good. I've been running like a chick with my head cut off today, but I'm so looking forward to this interview. My first question though, is Youngblood like your real last name, or did you change your government? I've always wondered. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, Youngblood. It's like, was that his real name? That really his last name?
All right, well, let me put it to you this way. When I came to college in 1996, a young lady from Lynchburg, Virginia, asked me the same question. She didn't believe that my last name was Youngblood. She asked for my ID. She asked for my driver's license. She asked for everything. And after I shared everything I could with her, she said, I still don't believe you. So she called me YB. And so since 1996, I've been YB because one person didn't believe that my real government name was Youngblood. So yes, my last name is Youngblood. It's the name that my father gave me. It's the name that's on my social. But most people call me YB because of this young lady. So I answer to that as well.
Big facts. Okay. I always wondered. I was like, that can't be real, but it is real. Okay, cool. Good deal. Well, tell us.
Yeah, and it's a whole lot of us out there too, man. I was
Really?
blown away. Yeah, if you do a Google search or you type in the last name Youngblood in the white pages, there's a whole lot of Youngbloods out there. They don't have the same shade as I do, but there's a whole lot of us.
Well, yeah. If you Google the last name Lovelace, you'll see a lot of us, but you'll see a lot of them too. So I know exactly what you feel. Well, man, tell us. Let's go ahead and get into the real nitty gritty. Tell us a little bit about what attracted you to LinkedIn in the first place. What made you say, you know what? Let me figure this out for a second.
Yeah, so I've been networking since I was 7 years old, man. So I've been networking for about 35 years. Mm-hmm. And when I graduated from college in 2004. My first position was working for the Boy Scouts of America. I was working for the Boy Scouts here in Richmond, Virginia. Mm-hmm. And I was responsible for going out into the community and building relationships so as to attract opportunities to promote our character education programs and career exploration programs. And so I was put on to the LinkedIn platform when I went through sales training, and I was taught to use LinkedIn as a CRM or customer relationship management tool.
Yeah.
So as I go out, build relationships, meet people, connect with them on LinkedIn and keep those professional connections going. And I just, I began to, leverage it as a tool, started a business and began to use it as a prospecting tool. And in 2012, when I was laid off from a nonprofit position, I prayed to God that he would deposit in me something that would allow me to live for him while utilizing my gifts and talents to be a blessing to others. That's when he blessed me with YB Connects. And that's when I started using LinkedIn to help job seekers. So, I was attracted to it because I love to network. I'm a professional networker. I coach people on how to network. And so LinkedIn just fits in for me to use that as a way of doing what I do best.
Love it. Love it. And so like it just came natural to you. How did you have to figure it out? Did you have to play with it for a couple months? What was that like?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say it came natural to me because I'm able to network offline, and I think the challenge for a lot of folks is that they may not have been taught how to network. Obviously, with any new technology, you got to learn the ins and outs. But I did attract a young lady who, you call me the LinkedIn guru. If I'm a LinkedIn guru, she's a triple OG LinkedIn guru, right? And so learned some things from her, was able to adapt and leverage it into my style, because I love to network online and offline. So because I understand how to do both, I was able to take it to another level with LinkedIn, and it became easy for me to use.
Clutch. So tell me like some of those things, because honestly, like I've always heard that word networking too, because like for me,
Yeah,
they always say your network is your network or your net
yeah.
worth, or that you always got a network. The people of our older generations do say that a lot. So what's the offline tactic, and then how did you integrate that into LinkedIn?
Yeah, so I would say one of the most important things that anyone can do when it comes to networking is understanding the power of your communication style. There's a book that I tell people to read all the time whenever we get on this topic. It's called Skill with People. Skill with People. It's by Les Giblin. Really, really short book, but very, very powerful. And what it does is it talks about the way to engage people properly. I think the challenge for a lot of us is that we think the way that we communicate, everybody else communicates that same way, and that's not the truth. So when you're communicating offline, a savvy networker understands that you want to be the first to offer your help. You want to be the first to offer your help. So, for example, if you and I met let's say at a convention, or if we met at a frat meeting, or we just met out and about, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to ask you questions to get to know you first.
Right.
I want to know where you're from. I want to know, obviously, we got the frat connection. So I'm going to say, hey, where'd you go to college? We're going to get to know each other. And then after we get past the intro, I'm going to identify how I can add value to you first. A gentleman by the name of Dr. George C. Frazier says that you want to make sure that you are the first to offer to be of assistance. As a matter of fact, his definition of networking is the ability to connect in such a way that you create mutual benefit, but it starts with you giving, right? So
Instead
when
of
you're
being a
focusing
taker.
on, when you focus on network, it's not about what you get. As a matter of fact, if you are a taker, that's not networking, right? You cannot network appropriately or properly without having that mutually beneficial relationship style. So when people go out and they're passing out a bunch of business cards, or they're just collecting a whole bunch of numbers, that's not networking. What networking is how do I create mutual benefit, and how do I start by giving? Because I know when I give, it's going to open up the door for me to receive.
Boom. Okay. I love the concept. Give more than you take. So how did you integrate that with LinkedIn?
Yeah, so I think what happens is when you get on LinkedIn, you treat individuals online the way you would offline, right? So, for example, if I came to your house right now and I knocked on your door, right, the first thing you're gonna be thinking is who are you? Now, unless you knew I was coming or even know who I am, but let's say you didn't know who I was. I come knock on your door, you're gonna wonder who is this guy? Like, what do you want? The same is true when you approach somebody online. So when you send somebody an invitation to connect, if you haven't sent them a personalized note, on the other side is going to be a confused person wondering, why is this person sending me an invitation to connect? What do they want? And the challenge because of social media is the fact that most people want to just pitch first. They want to start out by telling you what they got and, and how they want you to get it too. Folks are very leery. They put up the wall. So what I've learned to do is two things. Number one, leverage the relationships I already have. That's number one. Leverage the relationships I already have. So if I wanted to get connected to somebody in your network, instead of reaching out to that person first, I would connect with you and say, hey, I'm looking to connect with this person in your network. Number one, how well do you know him? What insight can you give me? And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on asking you to help make an introduction between me and that person. Why? Because you and I have a relationship already. That's kind of like having a layup or alley-oop. The second way it would be to do, to hit that person up directly and just let them know, I noticed your profile. We have some things in common. I welcome the opportunity to connect so we can strengthen our professional relationship and put it out there. And when I do it, I have a 95% accept rate.
That's clutch. Okay. So let's look at it from different angles. If I'm looking to get a job, whether I'm, fresh out of college or I'm looking to switch a career, how do I use LinkedIn from that perspective? Because there's multiple ways to do it. So we're gonna break down this one first. So if I'm looking to get a new job, or if I'm looking to look at whether I'm a new professional or an old professional or experienced professional, let me say that.
Yeah.
How can I use LinkedIn to my advantage?
Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to make sure you set your profile up. You want to, what I call, magnetize it, right? So you want to make sure you have a professional headshot. Invest in your personal brand. Go find someone that can take some professional headshots of you. You want to have a nice banner, a background. It could be a picture of you doing what you say you do, or it could be a backdrop of your city, or a picture of something specifically that's connected to your industry. You want to make sure you have a headline that promotes who you are and the value you bring to the marketplace. And then you want to make sure you set up your about section to give some backstory as to who you are. You want to put that in first person. You don't want to do it in third person. And then make sure your experience promotes impact and results. Once you have a magnetized LinkedIn profile, then what you want to start doing is using the search feature to identify individuals in your network that have a specific title, or you may want to use the job tab where you can search for jobs using the search feature. You can filter opportunities by city, by job, by how much they're paying. There's a lot of different resources that LinkedIn provides. You can even do mock interviews. There's questions that LinkedIn provides where you can be on video and answer certain questions and then send that to people in your network so they can critique your style. So I would say the first thing you want to do is set your profile up, set it up in such a way that people know you're looking for employment, and then begin to tap into your network to identify specific opportunities that you're looking for.
Okay, you done dropped a whole lot of game just now. Let's break that down a little bit. So first of all, you said invest in a professional headshot. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I have received many a LinkedIn invites with no picture. So that's
Some don't have pictures, and some of it is because the way it's set up. Some people don't have their professional pictures shown to people outside of their first tier connection, right? So there are some people, when you look at their profile, they may not have a profile picture until you actually connect with them. I'm not sure the rationale behind that, but there are some people who may put up like their logo or a picture of them and their kids or a picture of their cat or a picture of food. It's like, promote yourself, not all these other stuff.
Okay, so we got the little circle. You want to make sure it's a good picture of you in a suit, in a dress, whatever your profession that you're aspiring into provides. what should I put like on the header? Should I put like, college grad looking to get to the bag? What should I put on that line?
Yeah. So if I were talking to, let's say, undergrads, people who are still in school,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I would put is whatever that career that you're aspiring for, add the word aspiring and then whatever that career is, right? So, for example, you might say aspiring publicist
Mm-hmm.
or aspiring biologist
Mm-hmm.
or aspiring attorney, right? Aspiring accountant.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because when someone looks at your profile, they're going to see that you have a direction that you're looking to go, right? So you want to put that, whatever that is, aspiring podcaster,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you want to put aspiring before that. So that's for somebody who's just coming out of college. But somebody who might be a little more seasoned,
Yeah.
you may use keywords, right? So based on your career or career path, you can use keywords. So for example, I'm doing some work with a public health company,
Mm-hmm.
and they're helping their employees to transition from this company to other companies. And so what we're teaching them is how to use various keywords so that when people are searching, whether it's job recruiters or some other companies that they have employees looking for folks, you can be found based on those keywords. So that's one strategy. Another strategy is what I love to teach my clients, and that's a 6-second elevator pitch, right? And a 6-second elevator pitch is basically a statement that promotes your verb, right? Your target, and
Mm-hmm.
then the results that you get for that target. So let me give you an example.
Okay.
Uh, Say, I unlock the power of LinkedIn for women entrepreneurs who want to attract more clients using LinkedIn, right? So my verb is unlock,
Mm-hmm.
right? My target is women entrepreneurs, and then the result is attract new clients using LinkedIn. If you are in an employment situation, you might use, you know, uh, I attract, new clients for Fortune 500 sales companies, right? So you want to create some type of a statement that when a recruiter sees that you're already promoting your value ahead of time,
Yep.
and you are highlighting the specific type of organization that you'd want to work for. So either way, you can focus on keywords, or you can focus on a value statement that shows your value right away.
Boom. And that's the first thing like they see when they gonna click your name. They see the headshot and they see the header.
They see the header, they see the headshot, and they also see your banner as well.
Okay, so the band like the Facebook banner?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a billboard. So it's that rectangular shape that's in the back, right at the top.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
if you go on Kindle's, like Kindle Ficklin, you go on Kindle Ficklin, you see that he has 3 pictures. It's a collage. When you go on mine, you see I have 4 pictures. I've created a collage,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason why that's important having that picture is because a picture is worth 1,000 words. It speaks 1,000 words.
Of
So
course.
what you want is you want a a mental picture showing what you do, and then you want the words showing what you do as well. And then what that does is it reinforces that picture reinforces your headline.
So if I'm an educator, then I need to have a picture of me and some kids, or me and a staff, or me and
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
something.
If you That's right. And if you're an educator, it's showing yourself in the midst of teaching classes. It doesn't have to really show the pictures of the students, but if it does, then that's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to make sure that your headline says, as a teacher with 15 years experience, I aspire to enter into administration. I aspire to be an assistant principal. I aspire to be a
Mm.
superintendent. You know, when you put that out there, what's going to happen is when people read it, they're either going to know other teachers, they're going to know superintendents. So the real people, like when I say real people, I mean the people who understand how to use LinkedIn, understand that if they can help enough people get what they want,
Mm-hmm.
they'll put themselves in a position to get what they want.
The
So if I
networking
look
one
at
on
your
one. Yeah.
profile, yeah, if I look at your profile and I see you're looking for a way to become a superintendent, Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify superintendents in my network and ask them, would you be open to me connecting you with this young man who has aspirations of becoming a superintendent? And then what that does is that helps you, that puts that other person in a position to serve. But because I'm the connector, I'm going to be in the graces of two people because I'm bringing a positive relationship together.
Okay, that's putting it on game. Okay, now so we got the picture, well the initial headshot, we got the banner, we got the headline. So what do I put in the about me if I'm applying to some Fortune 500 company or some school district on LinkedIn? What do I want in that about me? Because I got my perfect pitch. Now how do I bring them home? So at this point I got their attention. I'm now they clicked my profile. What I want in that about me, as far as about me, I guess.
Yeah, so it's important that you answer five important questions, right? It's 5 questions that you want to make sure your LinkedIn profile answers. Number 1 is, who are you? Okay. For anyone that's taken the DISC assessment, you'll know that the DISC assessment provides some insight on ways that you can promote yourself, right? So, for example, I'm a very high I on the DISC scale. I am what they call a flamingo, right? Or a what is it for the air traffic? I'm the stewardess, right? Or flight attendant. I'm a flight attendant, right? And so I love helping people, but there's some key words that describe me: gregarious, right? Inspiring, optimistic, right? So when I talk about who you are, I'm not talking about your title. I'm not talking about what you do. I'm asking you to describe who you are, right? So who am I? In my LinkedIn profile, you'll see that I'm a compassionate connector, right? I'm a native of the Bronx, New York. So that's what makes me who I am. If I was born any other place, I'd be a totally different person. So that's who I am. So that's first question you want your LinkedIn profile to promote is who you are. The second one is what you do, right? The third question is, why do you do what you do? The fourth is, who do you serve? And then the fifth is, what results can you get, right? Because at the end of the day, the people that want to hire people are the people that want to hire those who get results. So we have to put ourselves in a position to brand the value that we bring to the marketplace so that we can attract those people who are looking for those results.
What if I could show you exactly what's holding you back from reaching your greatest potential? What if I could help you see the most effective areas in your life that you should be spending the most time in instead of wasting it in all these other areas? What if I could help make your most intimate relationships even better? Would that interest you? Well then, my friend, I would like to welcome you into the jungle. The W2J program is designed to help you grow not just professionally, but personally as well. You're not only going to get a customized 22-page report that's going to show you what animal you are, your secret superpower, your weaknesses, your ideal environment to be most effective, your communication style. It's going to show you it all. But I'm going to spend an hour with you so that you can implement it into your life immediately. So what are you waiting for? Click the link below this video, go to the website, and schedule your assessment and your appointment today. And now, back to the show. Okay, so for those of y'all watching, just go ahead and press rewind and run those back. I ain't gonna run through each one of them, but definitely go and run back through those questions and look at your profile and see if you answered those questions. All right, yeah. so that's from the person who's looking for an employer. Now,
right.
Recently, I'd say in the last, I don't know how many years, I won't even call it. But recently, LinkedIn has like expanded to like branding and like content relation. They even got stories now. So if I'm looking to expand and find clients in the LinkedIn market or whatever, if I'm a fresh business owner, if I'm whatever the case may be, I'm looking to take advantage of LinkedIn. Should my approach be the same? If so, how is it different?
Yeah, so I start off with a framework called the MMD framework. And the MMD framework focuses on mindset, methodology, and discipline.
Okay.
right? Mindset, methodology, and discipline. So when it comes to building a business, there's a certain type of mindset that you must have versus what you may have when you are, working for someone else. And that mindset is, how do I promote my brand in such a way that it provides credibility? Like I'm showcasing my credibility. So here's the reality: whether you're working for someone else or you're working for yourself, I believe you still want to have an entrepreneurship mindset. Meaning, the focus is on how much value can I add to the most people, right? Whereas most people are like, listen, I'm doing this 9 to 5. This is a job. I'm getting a pay. You know what I'm saying? So the mindset that we have to have is one of an entrepreneurial mentality, whereas how can I, number one, attract people, right, by being visible, and then how do I promote my credibility? Now, most people don't realize that credibility is not what you say about yourself. Credibility is what other people say about you. I wouldn't be on this podcast with you if I didn't have any credibility. And so the key now with the people that are going to be listening is I can just be talking, but now I have credibility because you're promoting. And so we have to have that mentality. So mindset is very, very important when it comes to using LinkedIn for business. Number 2 is methodology. And I shared 1 or 2 parts already, but a big part in terms of methodology is recognizing how many profiles can you get to see you, right? How can you get people to view you? You have to put yourself in a position to view as many profiles as possible, and build up your network in such a way that you have TOMA, right? TOMA, top of mind awareness. Okay. You want to be top of mind. Well, how do you remain top of mind? Number 1, you posting content on a consistent basis. Number 2, you're having conversations with people in your network on a consistent basis. And number 3, you're providing some type of value, whether it's a product, a service, a recommendation, a connection. And by doing that, you're going to always be remembered because you added value first. So those will be the 3 things that, in terms of starting with methodology. And then discipline, it speaks for itself. It's just being willing to be consistent and using a platform. Right. Don't expect it to pop overnight. If it does, hallelujah, that's great. But give yourself some time to be consistent, because the more consistent you are, the more opportunities you attract.
Right. And I think, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it like tailored to like your profile, like consistent? So like, for example, some people who are Instagram, they say you need to post at least 3 times a day to even have a chance with the Instagram algorithm and stuff like that. Well, the LinkedIn algorithm is a little bit different. So like some people are finding success just posting once a week. Some people are finding success posting videos. Some people are finding success with just a picture. Whereas those models in any other platform don't really work. So can you speak to that? I don't know. Like, you've been in since the early 2000s. So have you seen the changes over and figured something out for us?
Yeah, so I think it's a lot of it has to do with who you're connected to. So algorithms are algorithms, but a lot of it has to do with who you are connected to. And if you're connected to people that are active on the platform, then when you post, people are going to view that content. Now, one of the things that I love about LinkedIn is how you're able to grow organically without using advertising. Now, I don't have anything against advertising. Matter of fact, one of my clients is one of the biggest, educators and coaches when it comes to teaching client attraction using advertising. But at the same time, when you are proactive and connecting with people who actually know you in person, you post content, they're going to be looking for it. And then the beautiful thing is, if they're active, the people in their network, they'll get a chance to see that content because that person will react to that content some way. I love working with people who understand that your content should speak to the people in your network. It shouldn't just be posting for the sake of posting. It shouldn't just be random stuff. You want to provide content that's going to educate, uplift, and add value to the people that are in your network. And you should know who's in your network. You shouldn't just randomly be connecting with people just so you can have 500 plus connections. Because at the end of the day, most people they just hit the connect button, connect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they look back, they're like, I don't even know who this person is.
Right.
So if you look at your network and say, for example, you only know between 10 and 25% of the people in your network, you got a pretty weak network. Because that means that 80 to 75 to 80% of the people, they're not looking for you. They're not checking for you. They don't even know you. Mm-hmm. They're just connected because you invited them to connect, or they invited you to connect, and that was it. They wasn't interested in you. And so when you post content, people ain't checking for you, so they're not going to look at your content. They can care less.
So you telling me these people with 10,000 followers, 10,000 connections, they ain't really connected like that.
I'm gonna be real. And I said this on another podcast. When I see somebody that has 10, 20,000 connections on LinkedIn, I'm not impressed. Now people like, for example, one of my clients, he has over 125,000 followers, right? And that's because he's a big deal, man. He's a top motivator in the world, right? So,
E.T.
But absolutely, yeah. So
you better name drop it, YB.
Well, I'm not trying to build my joint on other people's stuff, but I work with some heavy hitters.
Right.
But here's the point I'm making. E.T. already built his brand already. So what happens is when he gets on a platform like LinkedIn, people are looking for him. Mm-hmm. And so, but if the regular average person gets on and you just start adding people to your network, folks might not be looking for you. As a matter of fact, they may just be looking to pitch to you because you added them to your network.
Fact.
So the key to this is you want to look at who do you actually know in person? Who did you go to school with? Mm-hmm. Who's in your chapter? You're in a fraternity or sorority. Who do you work with? Now, there's some people that they have a business and they work a job and they're like, I don't want my coworkers all in my business. Well, here's the reality. If you're building a business of any significance, people are going to know about your business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
If it's really doing what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, if it's doing what it's supposed to do, if it's impacting people going to be talking about your business. So you don't want people in your business because you think they're going to, tell the manager and then you get fired because you actually doing business stuff on your work time. That's another topic for another day.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's all about understanding your personal brand and using that personal brand to attract people who need what your brand has to offer.
Man, factual. Okay. So tell me what you've done. Well, one, back up. How did you expand to helping people like heavy hitters like E.T., like Kendall, like I don't know who else you got in your back pocket that you hiding, that you like, hey, I'm the one behind the scenes, but I'm gonna keep it on the down low. How did you transition into that work? Because you started out with college students, or what? Where did we? No, you said Boy Scouts.
My very first client was a young lady I went to college with. She was in the process of transitioning, and she was looking for another job. Mm-hmm. She reached out because she knew that I was efficient in using LinkedIn. Invited me, we connected for a 1-hour session. She brought her boyfriend with her at the time. And after a 1-hour session, man, she wrote me a check for $100. And Cameron, I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm from the South Bronx, man. Grew up in a single-parent home. My dad was murdered when I was 2. I never received $100 for 1 hour work. Right? When that happened, I was like, yo, I'm going to be rich. You feel me? Because, I'm saying, because I'm like, bro, I came from a place where, you make $25, $27 an hour, you caking. You feel me? You balling. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he saw value in the service, but I also learned that profit is greater than wages, right? Profit is greater than wages. So when you charge a fee, right? You may not be doing it by the hour, but that value that you're adding is going to prompt people to want to pay you more because you're bringing them way more value. So, for example, the work that I did with her netted her a phenomenal opportunity. So she was willing to make that investment of $100 to get to a place where she'll probably make a lot more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So how did I get to the point where I was working for folks like that? I just gave my gift away, man. I gave my gift away. I remember when I came into Breathe University. I started working with, some folks. I started giving my gift away, man.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing it on the love, what I'm saying, just to get them to say, hey, YB is that real deal. And then after a while,
You established
folks
credibility.
start about and they said, listen, man, how much does it cost to use your service? And I told them, and they paid me, and we just kept rolling from there. But I remember helping a brother out. You may know this brother, David Shands. I had an opportunity to work with David Shands.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave, as a result of the work that he and I did, he had a speaking engagement within Breathe University, and he was talking about the importance of being a locksmith and how we have to focus on the gifts that we have and the results that we can get because we can be a locksmith for someone. And that's when he used me as an example and said that YB is the LinkedIn locksmith. And so that's where I got that name from. I didn't make that
Boom.
name up. That wasn't a name that I said, you know what, I'm gonna call myself something amazing. I knew Dave Shands was a marketing guru. And so
Mm-hmm.
I said, you know what, I'm gonna snatch that, and the rest was history.
Boom. So that's how we got started with working, and then hey, they coming in. We need to work with YB LinkedIn Locksmith. That's big, man. So tell the people a little bit what you got going on, man. Like I know you working with the heavy hitters, of course, but
Yeah.
I hear you giving your gift away again, but we getting properly charged for it though this time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I recently got into the publishing space. Shout out to my team at Self Publish in 30 Days.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Darren Palmer, who is the chief book officer. He and I actually met through Breathe University. So that was a phenomenal networking experience several years ago. And so I made a transition because I was, at first, when I started my business after being laid off, I was full time. Then I went back to work and I built my business on the side. Then I decided to go full time. Then I went back to working at a college. And so recently, as of March 9th, became full time again with YB Connects. And what happened was I attracted an opportunity to work with Darren within Self Publish in 30 Days as his president of sales,
Mm-hmm.
all because I facilitated a connection between an alpha brother who wanted to be a published author and Darren. And Darren, connected with this brother, got him rolling. And I'm happy to say that this summer, this brother will have his book published as a result of that connection. And so Darren invited me to come and do some work with his company. And now I basically work with, Divine Nine members who are entrepreneurs that want to become published authors. There's a lot of folks out there that want to write a book, but they get stuck on the small things
They
and
do.
not really knowing what to do, even to become self-published versus going after the traditional route. And so that's where I'm adding value now, putting members of the Divine Nine in a position to, tell their story. Those who have worked in corporate and they're about to transition into their own business is people I'm specifically looking to connect with because they have a story to tell. They have wisdom to give. And why go to the grave with all of the jewels and all of the knowledge on the inside of you when you could take that out and put it in a book so that when you pass on, you live on through your book.
Right. And man, I'm gonna be honest with you. In my heyday, I was the NPHC president. I was my chapter vice president. I did all my thing when I was on the yard. But
Love it.
what really bothered me was that many of our Divine Nine members, we get the best training, we get the best experiences, we give all that. But when we graduate, we don't network like the IFC, the NFC. We for whatever reason that transition from college to professional, it ain't always smooth. And that, I'm gonna be honest, that really bothered me. So I'm really
Yeah.
glad to hear that you got programs like for people that are out there, cuz I mean, in my opinion, in my biased opinion, us in the D9, like we got the juice. We the ones who should be able to capitalize on these professional networks like this one. It just makes sense to me.
Oh yeah, and that's why LinkedIn is so powerful because the Divine Nine organizations they're out there, man. Folks are out there, man. One of the things that I love to do on LinkedIn is I love giving shout outs to Alpha Brothers that's making moves. If I find out that somebody else is a HBCU grad, I love giving them shout outs. Because at the end of the day, man, we can help other people increase their visibility. That's going to come back to us. So even now, you and I got connected. You reached out, and now you put me in a position to increase my visibility, man. And that's what it's all about. Just remembering that it's all about mutual benefit and starting with giving.
Man, when did you learn that lesson though? Because like I'm gonna be honest with you, like there are plenty of people in my generation and younger who are always looking to get, to take, to all that good stuff. And like you said, look, networking 101 is that you give, but I imagine that you had to learn that lesson from an experience first, because people who are looking to take, they don't have that experience. They don't know that you really got to give to receive, as the word says.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head, man. It started with the word. My mom, had me raised in the church, man. And so I learned early that to whom much is given, much is required, right? So, but then it was drilled home when I learned, give and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, running over, right? So when we understand that giving is a principle, right? It's a law. It's like gravity, right? You may not agree with gravity, but if I said to you, hey, let's go to the tallest building in your city, right? And we go up there and I go ahead and jump. And you're like, nah, I'm not jumping. I'm like, why not? He said, because I'm a fall. Well, what you just said without saying it is that you believe in gravity because you're not willing to disprove what I know to be true. So when it comes to giving, when you give, it's like taking an apple seed and you put it in the ground. When you put that apple seed in the ground, that apple seed is going to produce a tree. That tree is going to produce branches. The branches are going to produce fruit, and within that fruit is going to be more seeds. But all of that came from one seed that someone was willing to sow or put into the ground, and it produced an abundance. So that's where if we have that mentality and we focus on sowing seeds, it's going to produce a harvest like none other. We just have to be willing to sow good seeds and be consistent in sowing those good seeds.
So it's not about how many fruit. It's not how much fruit I can get off of the tree. It's how many seeds can I plant to produce fruit.
Oh, no question. No question. Here's the beautiful thing. From one seed comes multiple fruit that have more seeds in it, right? But it all somebody planting one seed.
Right. But I think what people hate about that process is that a seed takes time to grow. And then the tree takes time.
Yeah. It takes time to grow, man. So, it's the time, but another word is seed, time, and harvest, right? So you got to understand it's seed, time, and harvest. So you got to realize that you're in a season. And some people are in the season of sowing. Some people are in the season of time, waiting. And then there's other people that's in the time of harvesting. And you just have to be patient and know where you are in that process.
And so when LinkedIn's, what you're saying is, take your time. Don't just add everybody. Don't just be looking for the shiny fruit. So just take your time.
Oh yeah,
actually build those connections.
Oh yeah, no question, man. Take your time, build with folks, be willing to communicate. Definitely leverage that book that I recommended, Skill with People, because most people focus so much on themselves. Here's how you know people focus a lot on themselves. They use the word I often. When you really sit down and listen to somebody or read what they say, I this, I this, I this. It's all about them. When the focus should be on you.
True.
So, yeah.
Okay, I feel you on that. Well, speaking of books, aren't you a co-author? Don't you have your own book that you have that talks about a little bit. I don't know if it gives all the game away, but it doesn't talk a little bit about LinkedIn.
It does actually. I was blessed to be a co-author within a book that was published by Black Speakers Network. Shout out to Brian Olds, and Brian brought together 30 sharp speakers along with Dr. George C. Frazier and Les Brown, and we gave the game away in that book, man. It's called Speak Up: The Ultimate Guide to Dominate in the Speaking Industry. And it literally provides practical tips and tools that will help any speaker to get in a position where they can become profitable, where they can monetize their message and understand how to market themselves and put themselves in a position to attract the right opportunity. So, yeah, that was a blessing to be a part of Speak Up, the ultimate guide to dominate in the speaking industry.
It sounds like anybody can benefit from that book, even if you're not, say, a speaker, because the art of communication, as we both know, is very key when spreading your message, spreading your business, even applying for a new job. You was talking about the whole thing. How are you communicating the message?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say there's three types of people that would benefit from Speak Up. Obviously, the first one is a speaker. The second one would be authors, right? Because as an author, one of the best ways to sell your book is to speak, right? But if you understand the principles that we share in that book, it will put you in a position to attract more outlets to sell more books. So speakers, authors, and then I would say the third would be sales professionals, right? Because if you think about it, a sales professional is always networking. They're always out there sharing and promoting their brand. Now, there may be some specific tips that are only for speakers, but when you understand that the best way to grow your business is to speak, you will tap into this resource and say, how can I adapt the principles to my specific industry? But I would say those three types of people would benefit greatly from Speak Up, the ultimate guide to dominate in the speaking industry.
Man, if you looking to boost your game up, go ahead and cop that. And what's the name of your program? The program that you're working with D9 Published Authors?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So self-published in 30 days. You're not able to get it from there, but you can come get it from me directly.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go to his profile.
That was published prior to me joining self-published in 30 days. However, if you visit me, connect with me on Instagram and click on my bio, you'll be able to find it there. Or if you just inbox me, let me know you heard about me on camera show. I'll be more than happy to provide you with some love when you come through and want to get a copy of that book from me.
Man, absolutely, no doubt. So as a content creator, how do I best market, let's say, a podcast like this one? So because I wanna put it on LinkedIn, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Like when I put my little clips on LinkedIn, I ain't been getting much love unless like the person who's in it has a LinkedIn following. So how do I spread my podcast on LinkedIn?
Yeah, man. So you like I said, you want to look at it as a solution to a particular problem. What problem does your podcast solve, right? So that's the first thing you want to ask yourself. And then from there, you want to make sure you have it set up on your profile as an experience. If you're a podcast host, but the world don't know you're a podcast host, it's like I'm putting out this content. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna look to see if it's real.
Look at my
right. They're gonna look
now.
Yeah. So I think the most important thing you can do is definitely promote the fact that you're a podcast host. And then from there, ask yourself, what problem does your podcast solve? And then make sure you share the content with people who need to solve that particular problem. And you'll start to see an increase in your visibility.
I just looked at my profile. I don't have podcasts nowhere in there. I got the podcast clips, I got the guests, but I don't have in my header, like you said at the beginning of the show, I don't have podcast host or podcaster or any of that. So I need to fix that like today. So I'm definitely going to do that.
Let me do something for you. For all of you who are watching, listening, go and connect with Cameron on LinkedIn immediately, right? Send him a personalized note. Let him know that you're a listener. Let him know that you're watching. Let him know that you appreciate the content that he's put out. And then just make sure you send a personalized note so that he knows that he heard it here first, right? You heard it from the LinkedIn locksmiths. Hey, man, listen, the LinkedIn locksmith told me to connect with you on LinkedIn. And then just engage and stay connected with those people, Cameron.
Man, big facts. What about the people who just randomly sending you stuff? Like, and I'm not talking about the sales people who, like, as soon as you accept, like, they immediately in your messaging, like, saying, hey,
Yeah,
we do this and this. Not those people. We just gonna block those people. We just gonna forget you.
yeah,
The people who, like, let's say they attracted to me as a coach, they attracted to me as a social emotional learning consultant or a
right.
speaker or whatever the case may be. What about those people who just literally are just adding me, but they're not saying anything? How do I connect with those people?
Yeah, I say you treat it like a retail establishment, right? So I don't know if you've ever worked for a retail store before, but when you walk into a shop, let's say you walk into a Target or you walk into wherever, right?
Uh-huh.
The person who works in the shop, they're gonna greet you.
Yep.
They're gonna ask you to help you,
Yep.
right? So I think it's incumbent upon you and others who want to do this to communicate with the people that are in your network that you accept. If you just accept the invitation but you don't communicate with those people, shame on you.
Uh-huh.
You might as well delete those folks now because it's not going to add any value.
Let me go back and delete.
So you want to treat it like a retail establishment. You want to identify, what prompted you to reach out? How can I help you? Is there anything specific that I can serve you? How can I help you? You really want to get down to finding out what prompted them to invite you to connect. I'm sure I'm going to get a couple people that's going to invite me to connect as a result of being on your show. But if they send me a message without an invitation, like a personalized note, I'm going to ask them, what prompted you to invite me to connect? And I'm looking for them to tell me. If they don't tell me, if they don't respond, I'm going to delete them from my network because they're not looking to add value. They're just a lurker. And we don't want to build networks off of lurking. We want to build networkers off collaboration.
And you know what that says to me is that whereas on Instagram and Facebook, it's quantity. Like, how many followers do I have? How many likes do I have? How many shares do I got? All that good stuff. But what you're
Right.
saying, what's brought you great success in LinkedIn is not having 10,000 plus followers, which he does have, by the way, but having quality connections, like being able to go to anybody in that network and saying, "Oh yeah, I connected with this person like last month. They're a
Mm-hmm.
speaker. I connected with this person. They're an author, and I'm helping them. I'm serving them in this area, or I'm connecting them to this area. This is a college student that I met in Virginia. This is a frat brother.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Delta. This is all over. What you're telling me with that nugget, I don't know if everybody caught it, but you on LinkedIn specifically, you can capitalize on increasing your quality. So for those of
Yeah.
y'all who are looking for like customers, looking for direct, all that good stuff, quality over quantity.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most important is to have quality. I was just on a call today with a young lady. I had a speaking engagement to a group of interns through a program called Inroads that I was affiliated with. I'm still affiliated with.
Uh-huh.
And I had several interns reach back out, and she was bold enough to schedule a 15-minute call so we can get to know each other. So, something like that is beneficial because over time, if she is consistent, I'll take her under my wing and help her get connected to people that she wants to get connected to. You know why? Because somebody did it for me,
Mm.
right? Somebody did it for me, and that's why it's so important to focus on how can you help others first, because somebody has definitely added value and helped you.
So you telling me the key to unlocking all the potential that LinkedIn has is to give.
Yep, the secret to living is giving, man.
Man, what you said. All right. So let's. I always close out every show with these two questions. So the first one is, what's next for you, YB? What's next for the LinkedIn Locksmith? Are you do you got something down the pipeline? Do you got a conference? Do you got a what you got coming down the pipeline for the people?
Oh yeah, definitely got something going down the pike. So actually, I am enrolling folks into my LinkedIn Mastery Program, which is a 12-week group coaching program for entrepreneurs who want to learn how to level up on LinkedIn and turn connections into cash flow. My first cohort is actually wrapping up, and so they've done a tremendous job in leveling up. And so now I'm looking to attract some new folks, mostly entrepreneurs that want to take their LinkedIn presence to another level and generate revenue from it. I tell all of my clients, I want to put you in a position where you are able to not only earn your money back, but you're 10xing that return on investment. And so if a person just takes what I share with them and execute, they will have no challenge with being able to do that, because LinkedIn is wide open. And the beautiful thing about LinkedIn is that there are people who want to do business. There are people with genuine challenges. They're looking for genuine solutions. You just have to be genuine enough to offer your assistance and put yourself in a position to be found. Because here's the reality. If people don't know you exist, they can't find you. They won't pay you.
Sure can.
So I have that program. And then I'm also looking for ways to assist aspiring authors in being able to put their book out this year. So if that's you, we'd love to connect and see how we can continue to make an impact on this world.
Yeah, big facts. So now the last question is to look into the camera and give those people the last little nugget of encouragement, or another bomb, because we've been dropping the bomb of networking gems online, offline, because I've been impacted. So give these people one last nugget to take home for them to apply to either their personal life or their professional life.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The key is to get LinkedIn to speak for you before people speak to you. And so when you set your profile up the right way, it's going to speak to introverts. It's going to speak to extroverts. It's going to speak for you before people speak to you. And the beautiful thing about that is when people encounter your LinkedIn profile, they're going to feel like they already know you when they get on a call for a 15-minute call, or they get on a Zoom chat. I will say the most important thing that I do is to go from a LinkedIn connection to an offline conversation. The key is to build these online connections so you can do exactly what Cameron and I are doing, right? That you can set it up so that you can have dialogue and conversations and build with people so you can establish that know, like, and trust. And when you get to that level, when you get to that point, you're going to find that people are going to automatically begin to refer people to you because you get results and you started out with giving.
Can't close it out no better than that. Man, if you are watching this, go ahead and, like all the kids say, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, and share this with somebody who really needs this, because he dropped a lot of game just now. If y'all catch it, rewatch it, go back, rewatch it, share it with somebody who's trying to get down on LinkedIn, connect with YB, buy his book, go work with the locksmith himself. He's sitting here, he's telling y'all, look, I give it to you. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you 10x. So go connect with YB. Oh, where can they find you again? Drop your handles.
Oh man, listen, you can come check me out on LinkedIn, Rob YB Youngblood. Type that in the search, I'll pop up. Instagram, YB the Connector. You'll be able to find me there, and look forward to connecting. Just make sure you tell me you heard about me here, and I'll have something special for you.
Man, big facts. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all know we are helping you create your version of the good life every single Thursday. Until then, we'll see you next week.